Number two, we're just gonna hit them all. What was my next topic? I wrote it all down. I wrote everything down. Ah, yes. I remember. So get this. We had a workshop, first one of the year. We thought, okay, a week ago, we thought this is gonna be the best workshop ever. We organized it. We practiced our presentation more than probably about 10 times between the two of us. And it was organized. It was about 6 hours long. We did a lecture in the beginning. We really hit on the things that we thought needed improvement from our team, and what our goals were, and what we were trying to do, and trying to give the philosophy of why we're teaching you this way and how that translates into the dollar, right? And so we had that. We've had the lecture part, and then we had even models come in, and I made a bouquet. I did a boutonniere out of real live flowers from our garden right here. We ended up leaving it somewhere in the garden. And then we had the shooting portion. And then by the time we had the shooting portion, it took us all the way into sunset, and then it was done. Throughout this workshop, we did notice a bit of overwhelm, a lot of overwhelm actually. I said, man, there's so many things, right? As always, you can plan so well, and you can think and focus on everything that you think is awesome, but you forget about all these little functional things that actually make it go and actually make it effect. The biggest lesson for us was we have a broken system. We as teachers, we as mentors and as leaders, we weren't stepping up to that role, and we didn't really understand ourselves as to what a good leader is. I started to listen to a lot of Simon Sinek over the past couple of days, and he is very contrary to Gary Vaynerchuk, so it's cool to get two sides of the spectrum. But he had some interesting thoughts in that worked for us, in that you can be an authority or you can be a leader. Here are the differences. The authority, which is very similar to what we were trying to do, the leader part, but we were definitely coming off as authorities. And the reason why is, well, let me explain to you the differences. Okay, so authority is saying, do this. The leader is saying, follow me and do this. So it's more like a together kind of feeling with the leader, and then with the authority is because I told you to. You're gonna get it. Somebody gonna get the hot thing. We're Asian, both of us, and we only have our parents as examples, and we both had authoritarian parents when we grew up. Nothing against our parents, but that's what we had, and that is our way of teaching, and that's how we taught each other. We weren't very good teachers for each other, and that's why we bickered, and I felt resentful after the time I'd been shooting, and so we don't have a really good base in terms of how to teach. And we're kind of victims of this bad, broken system that we have. And we did realize that. Many conversations about how do we teach these guys what we want. At the same time, it was like, this is what we know, this is how it is. We were just kind of dealing with it, and not really improving how to teach and how to be leaders. And and that was never more apparent than during the workshop. And of course, our tone, we try to be nice about it, for sure. We're not disciplinarian or anything like that. But I think there are certain tactics and certain language patterns that come up through us that is very, very Asian or very, very authoritarian, because that's how we default to. After realizing that, and not getting the results that we wanted out of our team, I started to finally, the light bulb turned on. Who has done this before? Oh, there's tons of books. I ordered books. Okay, cool, start reading those. Oh, there's tons of YouTube videos on how to build a team. Start watching all of those. Start asking questions. And then finally, what was the most, I think, helpful for me is after watching and consuming all of that content and going, okay, so there's something in me that I need to change, obviously, because to be a leader, you have to set the example, you set the tone. And I think Simon Sinek said it best, where he's like, as the leader, you should be creating safety. It should feel safe around you. And what does that mean? Not just, is it a safe working environment? Check, I was doing that. I was making sure that nobody was harassing us when we work. That is a problem for women who work in the photography field. Not only that physicality of safety, but the mental and emotional feeling of safety to come to us when they have questions. That was probably the biggest thing that was missing from our team. So, okay, cool, do that. setting the tone. If you curse when you teach, you're probably gonna get curses when you receive answers back, right? So it's not very professional. So I would do this, okay? I'm embarrassed right now, but I thought it would be effective. And when I would give a review, I'd be like, clean the fucking room. And then I would buffer that statement by saying, I'm cursing so you guys remember. I'm not mad at you particularly, and I'm not mad at you personally. I'm saying that so that it sticks in your mind, because that worked for me, right? I would remember to clean the room most of the time. So that was a very poignant example. And that setting of the tone means that, okay, cool, now your staff can talk to you that way, which is definitely not what we wanted, right? We wanted it to feel good. We wanted it to not feel like tension. We didn't want it to feel unprofessional. And another thing is, you create the environment for your staff or your employees or whatever, your team, to be successful. So if you want them to succeed at doing their job well, you need to create the environment for which they can. Right, and there's plenty of other stuff that he was talking about as well. But those are the three things that I sort of picked up and are implementing now in managing this team. Another thing was that I talked to my very good friend. She married us, Kevin and I, and she's basically a behavior specialist. And so I said, please, Ann, help me. Please help me dissect this behavior, because it's the behavior I don't like. How do I change it? And how do I encourage or inspire behavior that is maybe broken or not where I want it to be, right? So I had a conversation with her, and boom, right there, she gave me this perspective that was so helpful for me to understand where the mindset is of somebody who is in their position as somebody who's learning from us. And so that was immensely helpful. And then after that, there seems to be this weight lifted from me that now I can really see the light at the edge of the tunnel. Is how are we going to build a team? It's such a mystery when you first start into it, because if, for one, you're not a very good leader and you're not natural at it, and you have a lot of shortcomings in this position to be a leader, it's very daunting. And you're just like, well, this is how I learn. Fucking learn it. You can't get people to follow you like that, which was a massive lesson for me. So I appreciated that. That was another big lesson. It's been a very emotional roller coaster this week. But I think it would be helpful for those of you who are maybe thinking about building a team, being a part of a team. If you're a part of a team, say you're in the position of, say, a second photographer, associate photographer, and you're in a company where the leadership is probably not where you think it should be. One of the things that Simon Sinek spoke about was to try to be the leader that you want, right? So this is also a lesson for me, in that I have a partner in what we do, and we both have to be leaders. Does that mean we're good leaders all the time? Heck no. Heck no. I sometimes feel that a lot of the behavioral stuff, the coaching, the inspirational stuff, the trying to understand the other person's stuff, I have to lead my partner into getting up to that level, to understanding where they're coming from, and not to just be like, well, I'm here, come up here, like, come get it. You can't be that way as a leader. It doesn't work. It gets discouraging, and nobody will ever follow you. Not only do we have to lead our team, but we have to lead each other. And so I thought that was such a poignant lesson for us to learn this week, and I'm gonna definitely remember it always. So that's what happened. This is a long ass video. So let me know if you're in a leader position, or maybe you want to step up to be a leader. I would love to hear that in the comments. We'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, if you like this stuff, subscribe for more stuff like this, and like the video. If you did, more videos right here.